everybody! Nice to see you again. Last time, we did about chapter 1 and chapter 2 of this book, the second book, Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets. So, I've been not posting the videos for like months, so I'm back again. Yes. So, and now it's a new year, right? Happy New Year. So, are you having a good time? Well, I had a good time. And what's your New Year's resolution? Please comment it on Lucas's video, my brother's channels, and any other videos so that I can read it. Yes. So, but like, can you just type like for Teddy, right? So, like, if you just type it there, Lucas will think that it's his. So, anyway. We are doing this, and now we are on the chapter 3, and we discussed about the invention convention, right? So we will start. So chapter 3, the flashback. It was about 1 year earlier, and all of the faculty and students of Jerome Hortwood's elementary school had gathered in the gymnasium for what would later be known as the sticky chair incident. George and Harold stepped up to the microphone. Sticky chair incident? Well, the chair, there's a gum on the chair? We'll check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, said George, Harold and I have invented something that is guaranteed to keep you all glued to your seats. Yes, said Harold, we call it glue. Mr. Crow became very angry. You two did not invent glue, he shouted. He stood up to take the microphone away from Harold, but his chair stood up with him. Everyone in the gymnasium laughed. The school secretary, Miss Envelope? Antherope? Yep, Miss Antherope. It's this teacher, right? And he's Mr. Crow. So, stood up to help remove Mr. Crab's chair from his trousers. Her chair stood up with her too. Everyone in the gymnasium laughed harder. The other teachers stood up. You guessed it, they were stuck to their chairs as well. Everyone in the audience howled with laughter. One kid stood up to go to the toilet, and his chair came up with him also. The audience stopped laughing so hard. They all quickly checked their chairs. Suddenly, the laughter stopped completely. Everyone in the whole school was glued to their seats. Oh, they glued all of them. So, you see, while it was true about George and Harold had not invented glue, they had invented a new kind of glue. By simply mixing putty with concentrated orange juice mix, they had created a quick-drying, body heat-activated glue. Then they had applied this special glue to every seat in the gymnasium except theirs early that morning. So they didn't glue their chair, but they glued all the others' chairs. So everybody in the gymnasium was glaring at George and Harold and seething with anger. I've got an idea, said George. What? Asked Harold. Run! cried George. So his idea is just to run. George and Harold were grinning from ear to ear, remembering their silly inventions and the chaos that followed. That was hilarious, laughed Harold. Yeah, chuckled George. It'll be hard to top that this year. Well, you won't get a chance this year, said Mr. Crab. He took out a magnifying glass and held it up to a fine print on the sign. This contest is open to all students in the third and fourth grades except George Beard and Harold Hutchins. You mean we can't enter the contest? Asked Harold. It's worse than that, laughed Mr. Crab. You boys can't even attend this year's convention. I'm putting you two in the study hall that whole day. Mr. Crab turned and walked away, laughing victoriously. Rats, said Harold. What are we going to do now? Well, said George, you know the old saying. If you can't join 'em, beat 'em. Early that evening, George and Harold sneaked back to school with their supplies. They crept into the gymnasium and peeked around. I think somebody is still in there, whispered Harold. Oh, it's just Melvin Sidley, said George. So Melvin Sidley is this boy, and yes, he's a brainiac. So, Melvin was the school brainiac. He was busy putting some last-minute touches on his new inventions for the contest. So he's he's just like inventing something for the invention convention, right? So George and Harold didn't get a chance, but he did. Oh, and let's look at some of the invention. Electric apple. Will that be delicious? I don't think so. An automatic shoe. I think that will be cool, but why there is a thing like this? It's something that's on the TV. I thought the automatic shoe will be like the shoes, and we put it on our foot, and we don't have to move. It will just move automatically. But I don't think that's it. I think like there are some videos coming out of it. Maybe there's a screen. So we should wait here until he leaves, whispered Harold. No way, said George. He could be here all night. Let's just go over and talk to him. When Melvin saw George and Harold approaching, he was not happy. Oh no, he said. I will bet you guys are here to mess with everybody's inventions. Nice guess, said George. Listen, we promise not to mess with your invention if you promise not to tell anybody that you saw us here tonight. Melvin looked lovingly at his invention and reluctantly agreed. I promise, he said. Great, said George. What is that invention of yours anyway? It just looks like a photocopy machine. So photocopy machine is a machine that copies photo, maybe? Well, it used to be a photocopy machine, said Melvin, but I've made some major adjustments to it. Now it is an invention that will revolutionize the world. I call it the Pasty 2000. It will revolutionize the world, and you name it Pasty? Asked Harold. Yes, said Melvin. PASTY is an acronym for photo, atomic trans, scrum-goplating, yectophen, triplutonic zanziptomizer. It's a really long word. So maybe you can try to put it write it on the dictionary and see what this is. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's too long and I cannot know this. Yep. So I'm sorry I asked, said Harold. So he couldn't understand it and he said, I'm sorry I asked. So, allow me to demonstrate, said Melvin. The PASTY 2000 can take any one-dimensional image and create a living, breathing, three-dimensional copy of that image. For example, take this ordinary photograph of a mouse. Melvin placed a photo of the mouse onto the glass screen of the PASTY 2000 and pressed start. The lights in the gymnasium dimmed as all the power in the entire school seemed to get sucked into the PASTY 2000. Soon the machine began to vibrate and hum loudly, and tiny bolts of static electricity snapped out from underneath. I hope that thing doesn't explode, said Harold. That sounds like it's gonna explode. Let's see. Oh, it is nothing, said Melvin. You should have seen how the PASTY 2000 reacted when I copied a puddle. What is a puddle? Well, maybe you will find out. So, finally, after a series of flashes and loud zaps, everything stopped. A small ding was heard. So, ding. We heard it when the microwave is over, or the oven when you're cooking a bread and baking a bread, and when it's over, it makes a ding sound. So it makes a ding sound too, a small ding. So ding. Then a tiny mouse crawled out of the side door of the PASTY 2000 and onto the floor. So it's really like it. Yeah, that's a good machine. There's a mouse thing, right? It's the mouse picture, and he put it on the glass thing. And then, like, after a few moments, there is a real mouse, right? Then, like, is it possible for them to make monsters? Will it be? Well, let's see. Whoa, sorry. So George inspected the mouse closely. That's a great trick, George laughed. You really had me going for a while. It's not a trick, cried Melvin. The Pasty 2000 really does bring photos to life. I've even created living creatures from paintings and drawings. Yeah, right, laughed Harold. And I thought we were con artists. George and Harold walked away chuckling. It was time to move on to bigger and better things. Oh no, they're pranking. It was like on this side to spray water. So like it's a washer, so like it will spray water on this side, but they're just putting it on the other side that it will go to people. That's a bad idea. And also, Harold filled up with ink instead of water. That's not better. Like the ink will be coming out of these things, and these, like, it should be like on the other side, but George is putting it on the upper side, right? So that's a bad idea. So it's over. And yes, thank you for listening. And next time I will bring chapter 5 and chapter 6, and I hope to finish this in like soon, right? So we're gonna have a good time reading this. It'll be fun, right? So see you next time. Bye.